We're back and you see us one more time. We're here. We did not let you down.
You know you love us.
That's right.
Frankly, we're like the best thing that's ever happened.
Oh, man. You know what? That's controversial because they'll be like, oh, he's a Trump supporter.
Oh.
Well.
Would that be wrong?
All right. So what are we bringing to the people today, Chris?
I thought we could jump into like the culture climate that we're living in right now.
Which is heavy.
It's very heavy. Yes. Without jumping into the whole George Floyd thing and all that, we kind of touched base on that a little bit last time.
Hey, you know what? I got a question for you, man. Okay, so, being that we are in Washington State, being that Seattle is one of the only cities across the nation that have been open to having a chop zone or anything that looks like that, right? So every other state or every other city across the nation that have tried that, they shut them down like immediately, right? So Seattle really is the only city that it's really been prevalent. So reason why I want to bring that up is because you went down there, right?
I think
I did also went down there, but when I went down there, it was two totally different experiences. When I went down there, the young brother that you all heard across the nation that got killed, I saw him get killed. I saw him, sitting there fighting for his life and everybody around him trying to support and encourage him on to live. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Let's look at that.
But your experience was totally different, right?
Yeah, let's look at the evolution of it, right? So I went down there before you.
Mm-hmm.
We saw mainly like 90% white chicks. Antifa people dressed as, calling each other comrades, being idiots. Like, that's what they do. We just really saw a bunch of divisive, argumentative behavior. We saw two Trump supporters show up, one with a giant Trump flags, and as we were walking by him, we saw him getting yelled at, so we decided to intervene and have a little conversation, which then we started getting surrounded by a couple of Antifas, and we decided, the situation finally de-escalated a little bit.
Right.
So it was so interesting because the people that I talked to, aside from, I went down there with my buddy Dan, and the people that I talked to, aside from the conversations that Dan was having, I was kind of keeping an eye out and having some side conversations with my cell phone camera out. And it's funny because every one of them, first they could basically tell, like, you're not from here. Something different there in the air. And every one of them asked me about AR-15s. Specifically that gun, I think just because of the popularity of it. But hey, can you get us some guns?
For clarity reasons, and I apologize for talking over you, can we, just to set the record straight, what does AR stand for?
Armor light.
Armor light. See, all right. It doesn't mean assault rifle.
No, there's no such thing.
All right, for those that are,
It's like a bottle. If I have a bottle of this Pepsi, it's a bottle of Pepsi. I'm going to throw it at you. It's going to hit you. Now it's an assault bottle of Pepsi, right? So, yeah, no.
Okay, so AR does not mean assault rifle. All right, there you
go. So then you can kind of see. Now I experienced the because all cops are bastards written everywhere. Well, two of my favorite signs me and Dan saw down there were, we can't go back, and it was like, fuck, you guys don't know how true that is. I thought before I realized that the chief of police down there is retarded. But one of the things that we did, and the mayor, that goes without saying, but one of the things that we noticed, man, was the lack of. It was everything but peaceful. Everything was like gun this, gun that. You had, and for Black Lives Matter, that stupid organization, for that organization you had, and then I'm not saying Black Lives don't matter. Let's just set the record straight real quick.
Right, of course.
Black Lives Matter.
Of course they do.
White lives matter.
You even have to fucking I apologize.
We can beat that.
The fact that you even have to say a specific life matters is ridiculous because we know life matters.
Well, one of the arguments that Dan got into down there was like, this chick was like, well, you just don't want to say it. Say it. He's like, all lives matter. She's like, yeah, but say Black Lives Matter. He's like, Black Lives Matter. She goes, then it changes. She goes, say trans lives matter. It's like, wait, what? And he's like, okay, trans lives matter. He's like, say indigenous people's lives matter. He's like, isn't this all covered under All Lives Matter?
Right.
So it's like, but she didn't want to hear that because you get to a point where you can't reach any sort of logic with these people, right? And they just start calling names, you know, F you, you suck, and all this stuff. Well, you know, one of the things is, but what I'm saying is you saw the physical development of that violence.
Right.
I saw the escalation up to that.
Well, you know what? I mean, I don't want it to just seem like as if like the whole experience was negative or anything like that. Like, honestly, the beginning of the night was amazing. I mean, like, I haven't been in Washington for a while, especially downtown Seattle, and I was down there with my brother, and man, it was amazing. I mean, like, I saw young people interacting with each other. I mean, the vibe was amazing. Like, I felt like comfortable. I got so much. I got like maybe a little too comfortable with my environment, but you know, the point is like it was still like it was good, man. It wasn't bad until it turned bad. You know, obviously I don't know what happened, but out of nowhere something happened. But man, that's two totally different experiences, man. Like, you know, what you experienced, you know what I'm saying, being out down in that zone, and what I did, it was almost like I went down there like around Juneteenth, you know, that whole celebration for Juneteenth. Okay. And it was just so peaceful, man. Nothing but young, you know, people getting along, doing their thing, man. It was amazing. It's crazy how something can be so great and then turn so sour so fast, you know.
I think it was always sour. I think it was built on a sour foundation.
Oh, the whole zone.
The whole zone.
Okay, I can
you know,
see
it's not just, you know, you're having these people who might not agree with the Black Lives Matter organization that live in that area, that we witnessed that they had a Black Lives Matter signs in their houses, and I mean probably to keep from a brick going through it, to pander.
You have very strong feelings about Black Lives Matter, the whole movement. Like, can you like maybe expound on that a little bit?
Sure. So this is a perfect example. You know, starting at Chaz Chop. You know, so one of the guards, all the guards that I've seen, but one of the guards, you know, of Black Lives Matter, is the hypocrisy that I don't like. All right, Black Lives Matter so much that we're so stupid. We need white people to stand up and fight for us because we don't know how, because they oppressed us for so long. Therefore, we depend on them to make it right. I'm not a victim. I'll never be a victim. All right. Maybe there's an argument for my dad, people like our fathers.
Sure.
That lived through the Jim Crow era, things like that. There's no argument for me, and I know all of it's like, well, you're not black enough, you're not whatever. But the fact that you have this movement by Black Lives Matters that took over a zone illegally, and who do you have guarding the zone? A fucking white dude with a cowboy hat and a bandana with a 6-shooter and cowboy. But so we need a white guy to protect us. No, I'm not even going to say us. I'm not going to put myself in with Black Lives Matter.
Hey, if you were sorry, excuse our language. We're trying to clean it up, you know. But
sorry about that.
We're just passionate. We love what we're talking about. That's all.
Look, I'm passionate about all lives. To say one specific life matters. When you bring facts and statistics to things, people get offended by facts, and that's stupid. You could argue. Look, not one person is against. Now, I've never met anyone that's against the officer that knelt on George Floyd, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody agrees that guy needs to go away.
Right.
That guy needs to go away. That was evil. We speak out and we are against police brutality. But when you bring facts up, some of the facts like this. Last year, there were, I think, 9 or 10 unarmed black people that were killed by the police.
Okay.
That doesn't include, like 6 of those were people punching the cops and reaching for their guns, but that's still considered unarmed.
Okay.
Well, hang on. You have, I think, like
that's convenient as fuck.
I think that's in the high. I think that's in the high 20s of unarmed white people that were killed. You prevent those controversial facts, people get offended, and they block it out, and they start going, "Well, not that's bullshit. I don't agree with the FBI or CIA or whatever statistics where you got them. I'm not going to agree with the government websites." And it's like, what it really comes down to, I think, for any argument is your source. Like, what source do you believe? Who do you believe? Because if somebody believes a different source than you, then it's like.
I want you to expound on like your experience with like, because I remember we were talking previously about the encounter you actually had with was it Antifa or whatever, and or Dan maybe, you know. The points that, you know, were trying to, you know, that they were arguing or trying to get across, you know.
Okay. So the first argument started when the Trump supporters showed up, and we had people pulling over, honking, you know, F you, and it was, what's the problem? And well, you're in a Democrat-ran city, you know, with a Trump flag, and it's like, okay, when did that become illegal in America? You don't have to agree with what someone's doing, right? So anyways, they start coming up and they start going, you're just going down there to cause trouble. They're like, no, it's a peaceful protest. We're going down there to peacefully protest with you with a different point of view, but it's all going to be peaceful. But we're not going to let you in. She physically blocked this guy with her body, would not let him pass. If that guy would have moved her, do you know what the fucking headlines would have said? Do you know if that would have been like white supremacist, you know, moves girl, and it would conveniently probably leave her race out of it too. Why are there so many? Well, have you been to the Black Lives Matter website? If you go there, you're gonna find out that it's stupid. Like, it's all a hoax. It's all about trannies and LGBTQ. Nothing wrong. I'm not saying anything wrong with anybody's life choices or whatever they choose, but you know, when it's corrupt from the get-go, there's issues to take with that. But their arguments that they were starting to come at us with were just like, well, what about, you know, hands up, don't shoot? And it's like, okay, well, that was a lie. We showed video evidence that was a lie, that he was actually reaching for the cop's gun.
Who?
Michael Brown.
Well, okay, yeah, that is controversial because, I mean, some people say that that's what happened. Some say not. That didn't, that, you know.
So, I mean, whenever they're presented with any sort of facts like that, it's like, F you, you're a racist, you're a fascist, you're a bigot. You know, you're not coming in our chop-free zone without a mask, by the way.
All right, so
very serious.
I have a very controversial question. I know it's going to be very interesting. I'm sure you all want to know the same thing, and this is a great question, right? Why should a black person, right, be a Trump supporter?
Oh man, I don't think there's a president that's done more for black people.
Break it down for me, please.
Okay. Criminal reform.
Okay.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things for me, but not the biggest. The biggest was an all-time low of black unemployment. Because the problem we have is, in my opinion, we have these impoverished big cities, Seattle, Chicago, things like LA. And it's like, what do they all have in common? They're all ran by Democrats. And they've been ran by Democrats for a minute now. I think last time Washington voted for
No, I just thought that was important that you just said that those states being ran by Democrats.
You're not going to find one of these stupid riots breaking out in a Republican-ran city by a Republican mayor.
Right.
Or, you know, because you just don't. You don't see it because the Democrat, like the political points that they're trying to score. Look where Durkin, Seattle mayor. Look where it's landed her. Nobody on the left likes her. Nobody on the right likes her. She's kind of like what's his name? The Facebook guy, Zach. Is it Zach or Zuckerberg?
Zuckerberg, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg. Like, nobody really likes him on the left or the right. He's like caught in the middle of the crossfire. But whatever. It's important to me because then you see all these Democrat ran cities, and these you see these impoverished neighborhoods, and you wonder, hey, why is the crime rate so high? Or you wonder why is there so much violence? Look at Chicago. Have you heard about what happened in Chicago over the 4th of July weekend? Like,
what happened?
Okay, my numbers might be off just a little bit, but I think it was something like 69 shootings.
Really?
Yes, over a 3-day period. And this is all since this happened. So whether
Those are confirmed shootings?
confirmed shootings.
Okay.
So your whole defund the police movement, I don't know if y'all are retarded or like, but the whole defund the police movement is.
See, but I don't think the defund the police. I don't think the defund the police movement is about stuff like that. I think it's about like, look, man, there's tons of corrupt police out there, bro, and that's what we're talking about defunding. You know what I'm saying? It's like the continuance of that being able to happen, you know? And that's been going on so long. It doesn't even have anything to do with anything specific lately as far as, you know, any black lives or any black deaths. I mean, you know what I'm saying, at this point, no. This type of stuff's been going on so long, and it's like, all right, why are we paying the tax dollars that we're paying towards people, man, who haven't cared about the people who are supposed to matter, and not just black lives, but everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like the oppression, or as far as like the things that the police brutality, man, it's been going on so long. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't name one like the national newsworthy story that's been on the news. I can't name one cop that has done something dirty to a black guy and then get away with it. There is, I will say this, the police brutality thing. There's a case with a guy
you hear
named,
what you just said? Yeah. You said you can't name one thing.
Right, that's been on national. Right.
What? George Floyd?
No. That's okay. Let me finish. Sorry, I miscommunicated. Hang on.
Philando Castile.
Hang on.
No.
I'm gonna make my point real quick.
Hey, but do you know who I'm talking about?
I sounds familiar, but I can't bring it to mind. So you're gonna have to.
All right. Okay.
You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
No. I'm gonna let you do your thing, but
I just want to say what I'm trying to say is one cop who did something dirty when it comes to national news, that made it to be a headline that didn't get in trouble for it. I can name one, but it's not to a black person. The kid's name is Daniel Shaver, and that was a really sad situation.
Is he white?
He was white.
Man.
And that cop got away with it. That cop wasn't like the George Floyd cop. He got away with it.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty strange to hear. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's the, you know, what's more like the norm is, you know, a white cop getting, you know, killing a black person that just, you know, gets off and doesn't get fucking, excuse my French, you know.
We can beep it.
But yes.
No, man, nobody's saying police brutality is not a thing. Nobody's saying that, like, there shouldn't be police reform. I think there should be. But when you say that, people don't actually mean defund the police when they say defund the police. But you have characters like AOC coming out saying, oh, by defund, we mean completely abolish. It's like these are extreme ideas that no good, in my opinion, can ever come from them.
Man, but you know, we're talking about defunding a system that doesn't work anymore.
And replacing it with what?
Well, that's where the people have to stand.
That's where the people have to start throwing bricks through windows. And remember, mostly white women that we ran into.
Okay, so, you know, my thing is like, it's crazy how the experiences with the chop zone was so different between you and I, because when I was down there, man, I saw nothing but like young people enjoying themselves, man. Like, it was a DJ out there. It was going down, man. I was with my brother. Like, you know what? I haven't been in Washington for about 10, 11, 12 years or so. And honestly, while I was down there, man, it's crazy because like I felt so comfortable. Like I didn't even think like it was, you know, a negative environment.
Can I ask you a question?
Like that. Yes, sir.
Why not? Could some of that be like sort of, not saying you, but can some of that be a bit delusional and mischaracterized the way you felt?
You know what? That's interesting that you asked that, because
you did see a shooting.
I asked my brother, I was like, man, you know, part of me was like, dang, man, did I trust my environment that much to where I just ignored what might be going on around me, you know?
Right.
And, you know, but that's the two sides of it. Because there's a lot going on. There's a good and there's a bad going on. You know what I'm saying? And I just was so caught up in, you know, the good that's going on wrapped around it, you know, to where like, I guess.
So those of you that don't really know that a lot of the history between me and Trey, this is where this is kind of what, correct me if I'm wrong, how to start wanting to make this show, start talking about it, right? Because I believe it gets into eventually good versus evil.
Okay.
And yeah, okay, let's just say this. There's political corruption in both parties, Democrat, Republican.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's like choosing the lesser of two evils.
Which doesn't make sense.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
This is where we have kind of split a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And even maybe maybe it's not the lesser of two evils. Maybe it's just across the board, right? But here's the thing. And I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm not sure. I think you have some right wing ideology, but I think that you're pretty much apolitical, correct? Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Apolitical. Okay. What is
like
that?
like you're not really interested in
Okay. All right.
politics,
So I'll tell you. Look, my stand is I don't go either way. You know, I don't play politics. You know, because you know me. My thing is I'm like, how can you have two different wings and it's only one bird, right? So these people know each other. You know, like. The left wing, right wing, they know each other, man. They have dinner together, all those things. So I don't subscribe, you know. I look more like from an outside point of view. I just try to like view everything and try to make sense of it, you know. But I'm not. I just don't go with all that because you know what, man. It's like we all have our good points. And then we all have the points that don't make sense to the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? But so you know, I choose just not to be like that. I don't put all my eggs in that basket. You know, that's just you know my thing.
I think ultimately anybody who puts all their eggs in a political basket, like, look, I'm not.
Do you think they have a great Easter?
I think they have a wonderful Easter. Wait, we just got this new setup. I think they have a wonderful Easter. I think it's ignorant to put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to the political system or anything like that. It's the fundamentals that I stand for, right? Second Amendment, right to bear arms, freedom of speech, First Amendment. It's those simple things that offend me, which is hard to do, is when you try to censor people from talking and expressing their ideas, which is effectively what the left wing what the leftists are doing. They don't want to hear anything you have to say if it's an opposing view. Mm. They don't want to talk about it.
Right.
You know, what they want to do is, hey, you don't believe me, or you don't listen to my ideology and subscribe to that. Well, then we're through here. You're an idiot. You're stupid.
Right. And I experienced that. Something I shared with you. I experienced that this week. You know what I mean?
Tell us about it.
Man, you know what? I had a different view, right? I was on someone that I know dearly's platform, and some of their people on that platform.
So set us up with the context.
Okay, so it was like there was a picture of Obama, and it was like explain in one word. You know, my word was failure.
What were you challenged on that at all?
Oh, definitely, because I don't believe that Obama did much for me and my people as far as those of my complexion. And so I was immediately accused of not reading books because I don't agree with Obama being a president. You know.
And where did that escalate to?
You know what? You're good. Well, you know what? It escalated to me being, you know, to the point of me just being able to tell someone, like, you know what, I know we don't agree, but that's fine. I think I'm more okay with it than you are, you know. But it didn't edify me.
I guess
it brought me down.
I'm getting more to the.
It was the
name calling factor.
Yeah, it was a bunch of insults.
So you get to a point to where you brought, you know, they didn't say, hey, you ask them a simple question. What has Obama done for us? And they responded with like just insult after insult.
All they
after
said was,
insult.
they said, obviously you
and then
don't
they
read.
ganged up. Am I wrong in saying that?
Yeah, they said, obviously you don't read. You know, it's like, wow, because I'm not an Obama supporter, I don't read. Like, come on.
They said
man.
some other stuff we're not going to say on air, but they, you know, that is the left's idea. You don't agree with them, so therefore they hate you. They'll never ever be open to negotiating. But half the left, here's where I get a bit conspiracy theorist. It's like, is this something like funded by George Soros? Is this something that's crazy going on? Because you always, you got the bunch of peaceful protests. By the way, I love protests. I think that is every American's right. Go out and peacefully protest. But when you have stupid CNN headlines like that saying, peaceful protesters walk on private property and get guns toted at them.
Right.
They're on private property.
Well, yeah.
That property belongs to those homeowners, which allegedly had threats made against them. I don't know enough about that situation, but my point is you can't say there's peaceful protesters that are illegally occupying an area. Shot, jazz, whatever.
Right. Man, the thing about it is, it's like, I think, we need to find a commonality, man, so we can stay together.
Let's find a common ground.
Because, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of forces out there that don't want you, who might have a difference of opinion as me, but they don't want me and you to, like, come together. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because that's what it's about. It's like, we don't have to agree on everything, right?
But
we can support each other, though. We can on the things that we come together on. All right, so
thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode.
Thank you again. I told you we'd be back. And look at us now. You see this? This is beautiful,
we
right?
can never let
You
an
like
episode
this.
go.
You like this. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You like it. Yeah.
we can never let an episode go, though, without thanking the dude behind that camera.
Our camera guy, he's the stuff, man.
That dude,
right
without
here,
him, this is impossible.
Is what we call him, right? Our engineer. Is that what we call him?
Yeah. I call him the whiskey guy.
L.D.W.C. Last days of Washington Culture. What we're going to do is continue to expose just the things, that's going on. We're going to relate to everybody. We're just going to continue to push this content. Hey, give us your feedback. Like us, man. Subscribe.
Love you, Mom.
Hit the notification. Hey.
I'm sorry. I got excited. You started taking the
hit the
microphone.
No.
Oh.
The
like button?
Notification button. Yeah, right.
There's one of those buttons.
That's right. Hey, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
My thoughts is full of the shit that you can't bear on the daily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 niggas acting shady. I done sacrificed a lot lately. I done made it to 19, ain't got no babies. Trying to get it to the millions, ain't no waiting. Trying to feed all the family in the cages. Trying to read all these books, keep turning pages. I destroy every obstacle I'm facing. Running the marathon.